Hello, and welcome back to the Pure Nintendo Podcast. This is your weekly dose of all things Nintendo. My name is Jemma, and joining me this week, we have Trev. Welcome back, Trev. How exciting!
Hi, Gemma. Hi, listeners. Yeah, just me. I guess Kirk's so mad at Nintendo for prioritizing Chibi-Robo over Fire Emblem. He skipped the week entirely. So
Yeah, it's gone on hiatus. Yes, well, I'm glad you're here this week. Thank you so much for joining me. We have a lot of cool stuff to discuss. Of course, the Kirby Direct that happened, Kirby Air Riders Direct that happened. We're going to go through that. We have plenty of other news, exciting games coming to Switch 2, as well as the games that we are playing. So lots to look forward to. I'm really excited to talk to you about these, Trev. But let's kick things off with that Direct. Yet another Direct. Are we in Direct mode or Direct overload at the moment? Do you like getting all these Directs, or how do you feel about that?
um, it's it's interesting. I'm used to Nintendo Directs and even the indie Directs. These game specific Directs can be hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess it depends on the game, but honestly, I can never have too many directs. I think it's always a good thing, even if certain ones don't resonate with me as much as others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I totally agree. I think more is better when it comes to these things. And we've been pretty lucky lately to have as many as we've had. So this one was quite lengthy as well, 45 minutes of details. Yeah, super long.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It was a little, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes less is more, but
Sometimes, yeah.
maybe it depends on the game. And, obviously there's some people who probably wish it was even longer. So
Yeah, probably. Honestly, that's true. And when you think about, I think there was a Mario Kart centric direct at one point, right? Mario Kart World. That was nowhere near 45 minutes, was it? How long was that one? Do you remember off the top of your head?
I don't, but I was thinking about the last game specific direct we had, which was that one for Donkey Kong Bananza, and that was what, like 17 minutes?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's like a half an hour less than this one. And my own feeling is I think Bonanza's the bigger game. Obviously, I haven't played Kirby Air Riders, so I'm
Mhm.
just going off what I saw, but I did feel like the length didn't really match up with this style of game. But again, I'm one guy with his opinion, so I don't know. Did it seem too long to you?
Like I was surprised at the length because yeah, I just looked it up. Mario Kart was 15 minutes. I mean, we kind of had already heard a bit about Mario Kart previously, so give or take, maybe that's why. Donkey Kong, like you said, was was nowhere near 45. Maybe because they were closer to release, or because we already had trailers. This was like it's not like it was the reveal, but it more or less was in a way because we only knew that it existed. We didn't have a release date. And plus, because it was with the director, Sakurai, maybe it was like his thing and maybe he's just good at that and he wanted to talk for 45 minutes. I don't know. Because it was all him talking,
That's
the whole time.
that's a good point. I do feel like my own feeling watching this, it almost didn't feel like a Nintendo Direct, even though it was labeled that way.
Mm,
It almost felt like the director's like something that would be on his personal YouTube channel
true. Yeah.
because it wasn't just a singular focus on the game, but he was the lone voice. Like they
Yeah.
weren't bringing in other people. So, yeah, I tend to echo some of what you said there.
Yeah. And for me, I mean, it was on at 11 p.m. for me in Australia, which I wasn't sure if I was going to stay up and watch it just because it was a Tuesday. It was a work night. I had to get up and take kids to school and go to work and stuff like that. But I was awake at 11, so I watched it. And I was struggling by the end. And that's not to say it was a bad direct. That's just because it was almost midnight by then. Like, I'm just tired. I'm just tired at this point. So I was struggling to keep my eyes open. But I mean, it was certainly packed with a lot of information. And, um, you know, overall, what I'm seeing online is that people enjoyed it and were happy about it and are happy about this game. And I do want to ask you about that as well, because I haven't played the original Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube, which I think was a 2003 or 4, depending on your region, game, I believe.
Hmm.
Yeah. Is it something that you were into back then, 20 odd years
No,
ago?
I only played Kirby Air Ride within the past year or so.
Really?
I played it with some friends. It's more of a multiplayer game, and
Mhm.
my friend Kira, who contributes to Pure Nintendo on occasion, we were hanging out. She had it, and she wanted to play it. So I'm like, "Yeah, I never played it." Um, or I hadn't played it that I remembered. I think my brother-in-law owned it, but
Mhm.
I don't recall ever playing it. If I didn't, it didn't leave much of an impression. Um, it was it's not my sort of game, and I guess I'd apologize in advance to those who really enjoyed this direct, because I don't mean any disrespect, of course, but maybe I'm in the vocal minority. I just didn't enjoy it as much, if I'm being honest. But I guess it makes sense, because if I didn't really play the original GameCube game much, then
Mm.
obviously I'm not going to be overly excited for this one. And maybe I wasn't the audience for it, because I do feel like parts of this direct were more maybe focused on existing fans.
Mhm.
But by the same token, parts of it almost felt like a tutorial where they're
Yeah.
showing like controller movements. So I don't know. It did feel a little the way it broke down because some of its focus. I felt like it was a little disjointed. That's my own take. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, of course. And I think for people like us, I suppose, me particularly because I've never played it, you've only briefly and recently played the original. Was the job of the direct to convince us that we needed this game, or was it to let fans know it's coming and how different it was, or better, or more special, and that they should be interested, or was it both? So I don't know. I mean, me coming in pretty cold, as in not having played it before, for me, it got my interest peaked for sure. And I like that he mentioned because of course I'm thinking I thought it was a racer, right? And I'm like, and it is more or less, but it's also like it's basically like you're fighting on wheels, or not even wheels. You're fighting on vehicles, kind of like Smash Brothers crossed with Mario Kart. Would that be apt? I don't know.
I mean,
But
I
it's
guess that makes sense because you think of the Sakurai. What's he known for? Kirby and Smash. So
yeah, yeah,
you
exactly.
kind of bring them together, and um, yeah, it's I mean, they doubled the buttons, which was kind of the joke. That's one thing I didn't like with the original is one button basically was everything.
Mm,
So I'm like,
yeah,
why? The GameCube controller was such a great controller,
yeah,
and
yeah. It
it
was a
had,
great
you
controller.
know, triggers and different things, and why limit yourself? But I
Mm,
guess paradoxically they feel like limiting themselves maybe gives them more freedom. I don't know.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it was a lot for a single game, especially a game that's not even a mainline entry.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
like the Donkey Kong Direct left me wanting more. Kirby by the end, I was like you. Now I wasn't tired because of the hour, but I did find my attention waning, and I eventually broke out my laptop and was sort of multitasking. And I
Mm.
would keep looking up, and I feel like I sold the game short because it was all subtitled, right? So you
That
kind of
also
had
made
to
it
watch it.
hard. Yeah, and that made it hard at late at night for me as well because I couldn't just listen, I had to read as well, so that did make a difference, and not
Yeah, I feel like it contributed to for me being a bit of a duller presentation, especially again for the length. I feel like they're
mhm.
really it wasn't the content so much; it's just the way it was formatted.
Yeah, yeah, and the game, I mean, it certainly looks great graphically, and I like that, obviously they've added an extra button like you've said, they've added the reason it's called Riders as opposed to Ride, which the first one was called, or Ride 2, is that, you can play as multiple riders. Even though he did say you could kind of do that in the original, which I didn't really get. But it's more about multiple riders this time. There's a lot of characters to choose from. Kirby's still the main one, of course. I kinda like, the different vehicles and the way you can change up your gameplay style based on which character you have and which vehicle you have. I feel like it looks really hard to me. As in, I love Mario Kart. Everyone knows I'm a big Mario Kart fan, and I'm not bad at Mario Kart. I'm decent. I've had a lot of practice, but I have never.
Don't sell yourself short. You're pretty good at Mario Kart.
And I enjoy it. And I've been playing since the original on the Super Nintendo. So yeah, definitely had a lot of practice. But with this one, it just looks hard to me. I'm like, oh, because I'm not very good at Smash Brothers, for one, right? I'm just not. Although I'm not too bad with Kirby. He's my go-to guy. But I'm just thinking, am I going to be any good at this? Is it going to be really hard? I don't
It
know.
does look chaotic, and I'm also not the biggest Smash Brothers fan. Like, I really haven't played many of them. I only own the original on 64,
Mm.
and obviously it didn't connect enough where I stuck with the series. But um, I realize I probably sound more negative. The game looks colorful, like you
Mhm.
said, it looks good. I do think maybe, like, I was watching it and I'm like, I wonder if they could do this on Switch One. It didn't really scream
Mm.
Switch Two to me. Like,
Mhm.
it still looked good, but I don't know. Did you think it was like a Switch Two showcase?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It didn't necessarily like some scenes I think looked nicer than others. You know, maybe that one with the waterfall down the side. I think there was some part there that looked really cool.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
good fair point.
yeah, yeah,
Just
but
on a consistent basis, I guess.
mm, and maybe it's the
Mm,
speed, but you know, they were able to pull this off on the GameCube and have had various versions of Mario Kart, which is a fast-paced game on other
yeah.
consoles. So I don't know if that's the reason, but maybe it'll bump up to 120 frames per second. Maybe it'll just look smoother and maybe not need Switch 2, but maybe it'll just benefit from it. I don't know. But did he
I'll be
say
curious how it'll be in handheld mode
yeah,
with
yeah.
like the resolution and just the frame rate. I feel like the Switch 2 overall has done a lot better with that, but
Mhm.
it could still be on a game by game basis, I suppose, depending on how well it's optimized.
Yeah. And I'm still not sure, maybe we don't know all the details yet, but how many modes there are or how many characters there are. It looked like there was still space for more details to come. And like that city, what was it called? That city area where you run around for 5 minutes boosting your
Yeah.
power-ups. Like, I'd kind of just wanna explore that city. I kinda don't
That's a
wanna
that's a good point. Like, the content was there, but I don't know if in terms of like overall variety, like it didn't seem like and again, I'm not an expert on the series or the first game by any means, but it
Mhm.
didn't necessarily seem like a huge jump from the GameCube game. Like, I'm like,
Mm.
okay, I get it. You know, it's a continuation, but is it? I don't want like Kirby Air Ride 1.5. Like,
Mm.
and I'm not saying that's what this is, obviously, but I think even fans maybe were expecting more content. And again, given 47 minutes, it's like
Mm.
pack as much into it as you can. We don't need maybe all this chatter. I'm not saying it wasn't interesting, and I realize big fans of Sakurai are gonna really eat it all up, but like, I was ticked at him at the end when they started playing music, and then a few seconds in, he starts talking again, and I'm like, "Dude, I've been listening to you for over 40 minutes. Be quiet and let me hear some of these songs." But maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Well, apparently it's had 3.5 million views in Japan, this direct, which is no small number. And the game is now number 1, on Amazon Japan, which, I guess in terms of pre-orders is pretty good. So I think it's certainly a very popular game over there in Japan. We did
Yeah,
our own little
1.8 in the US. I checked 1.8
1.8.
million on the North
Wow.
American YouTube, but it's only
Yeah.
been out for a couple days at the time of this
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which is still that's still a lot. And we did our own little poll on YouTube and asked, our followers what they thought, if they liked it or not, and we had a very positive response there as well. I think it was 67% said they loved it, and it was pretty much equal after that in terms of liked it, didn't like it, or didn't watch it. But the vast majority did really like it. So yeah, it's like you said, we always are happy to get more directs. We don't want to say no to these things, and maybe it's good that it was different in style to some of the other ones we've had. It makes you wonder when I say when, if, but probably when we get a Metroid Prime 4 direct, how long will that
Mm.
be?
Not long enough for all the time we've been waiting. So
Yeah, yeah. I think 47 odd minutes is going to be tough to beat. So
that's what'll bring Justin back on the show when they show that Metroid Prime
yeah,
Direct.
yes, yeah. It's got to be next, right? It's got to be next. Any day now, any moment.
Mm. I will say for Kirby though, I don't think it'll take I don't think it'll take a ton to maybe surpass the GameCube effort. Like the GameCube, it was a bestseller,
Mhm.
but of course the GameCube sold more modestly compared
Mm.
to a lot of systems. So uh, the original game only sold like 1.4 million, and I can easily see the Switch 2 besting that, especially if it gets a positive reception. Once we get it in our hands.
Yeah, and maybe, people really do want a new Smash Brothers, for example, and in that I guess in the absence of that, does this almost fill the void a little bit? Like, because it is from the same
Mm.
director and it has that similar style and it is about battling to some extent. Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, scratch that itch. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that, but I mean that's what the game looks like. It's like Kirby
Yeah,
mixed with Smash
yeah,
Brothers, so
yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
be surprised.
Yeah, no, me neither. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. It comes out when was the date that they said? November the
Uh
20th, was
like
it?
the 3rd week in November
Yeah.
sometime.
So we have a date now, which is good. So we're filling out the calendar for the rest of the year with these games. We still don't know when Metroid Prime 4 is coming out. Um, what I liked at the end, you mentioned music, was that they did release some Kirby songs and tracks from the new game onto the Nintendo Music app, which we've talked about this app many, many times. They've got some great soundtracks. Of course, we love our music on this show, but they've never really synced it that well before.
Mm.
We've talked about things like Donkey Kong, for example. Did they put the Donkey Kong Bananza soundtrack onto the app when the game was released? No. Same with Zelda or any other game. They haven't necessarily done it simultaneously. I wonder if we're finally doing that or if this is a one off, but I think it's nice to tie it in. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean I like Kirby music. This this particular ones maybe weren't my favorite just because I'm a little more mixed on some of the vocals. Like I,
Mm,
I tend to I tend to like more instrumental stuff, but um I feel like maybe this is one of those soundtracks that might fare better when you're actually playing.
mhm,
Because in my own experience, there's certain game soundtracks I can listen to, on their own anytime, right? And
mm.
then there's others I feel like I really have to be playing the game to appreciate them. And because Kirby looks so chaotic at points, I'm wondering if some of these faster, more rock style tracks, like I can really groove to if I'm actually holding a controller and laughing with friends. So,
Mm. Yeah, it makes
did you
sense.
like it? What you heard?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I do. Sorry, I do love. I do love the Nintendo Music app. I try to listen to the new songs as they come out, and uh, Kobe music is generally quite lovely. Like you said, it's a really nice. It's got a nice style to it. These ones, yeah, they're sort of slightly different because they are more, like you said, they have the vocals and they're very fast paced because they're going with a racer of sorts. Um, but still, I enjoyed them for what they were, and I think like you, I will find them maybe better in game because yeah, just because of what the game represents and what the action will bring, and I suppose the the adrenaline pumping nature of those
Yeah.
racing battles that we'll enjoy. So yeah, I mean,
What?
I definitely for me, my overall thoughts were like tiredness aside and length aside, because that was also me being up late, but it was a bit long. But it did pique my interest. So I'm more interested now than I was previously. When I thought, oh, it's just why would they bring out another racer? We've just had Mario Kart World. Do you want two
Mm,
big racing titles from kind of Nintendo IP within 6 months of each other? I didn't really think that was a good
mm,
idea, but I can see it's different enough to Mario Kart that even though he did say, and I love that he called that out right at the start. It's like it's basically Mario Kart.
yeah.
Yeah, which is
Fans like his forthrightness, but will they actually like the game? Time will tell.
mm, yeah, exactly.
But
There's
I was
an
thinking too, Gemma, when you said
mhm,
about syncing up the music app with the
mm,
games.
mhm.
Um, what would be next? Maybe Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance. Maybe that would get
Yes.
Kurt to finally download the app.
Yeah, yes. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. I
I'm not
think
holding my breath, but
no.
never say never.
No, never say never, exactly. Anything else you wanted to say about the Kirby Air Riders Direct before we move on to other bits and pieces of news?
Nah, I think I said enough. And again, if you're excited for it, I'm happy for you. I hope the
Mhm.
game's a success, even if so far it maybe doesn't look like it's for me.
Mm. Cool. Yeah, agreed. Thank you. Listeners, let us know what you think of Kirby Air Riders. If you're excited, if you're what you thought of the direct, if you're going to pick it up, etc. Now, you have some news that you're bringing to the table in for the form of a new amiibo to add to your collection.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I put that there. That was a late addition. I actually got two new amiibo. Um,
Cool.
Sort of a callback to back when you and Roger used to,
Yeah.
uh, felt like every week you guys were grabbing amiibo.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Kirby, I finally got King DDD from not the Smash Brothers one, but the one that released when they did those Planet Robobot amiibo.
Yeah, right. Nice.
So now I have all four of those from that series,
Oh, cool.
which is cool. And I also got Greninja, the
Oh,
Pokemon.
yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Mhm. Yeah, I
Uh,
think so.
which
That's
is
how I
an
said
old
it.
one, but I liked it because I like it's got the scarf that's kind of shooting out and they're
Mm.
striking the post. So it's got a unique shape. And I got a good price for both of them. So I'm like, hey, now I'm up to, I don't know, 3 dozen or whatever I got.
Nice. That's excellent. I think I got Green Ninja in Japan when I was there last year. I'm pretty sure he was one I
Oh,
picked up over there. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Excellent.
there's new Pokemon coming out. So who knows if they'll take advantage of some of these Pokemon amiibo.
Yeah, well, they didn't add, I don't think the latest, those 3 starters from Pokemon Violet and Scarlet were never converted into Amiibo, actually, now that I think about it.
Mm,
They would be cool.
yeah.
Mm.
I'm wondering if there's just some kind of bonus because, like, even like Donkey Kong Bananza, you can kind of scan any amiibo and get a little something. But I
Yeah,
wonder if there'd be
true.
extra for series specific ones.
Probably. Yeah, I'd say so. Mm. Yeah, it would be nice if they did tie some new Amiibo in with that game as well, actually, yeah. Pokemon Legends coming out soon. Cool, well, I'm glad you added to your collection. I haven't got any new Amiibo just yet. I'm still but I do have a lot. So sitting tight for the
Yeah.
moment.
Well, you bought them at launch, right? You bought the Zelda ones for at
I
the Switch 2
did. I
launch.
did. I
Yeah.
did. Yeah. I still haven't got the Street Fighter ones, the Street Fighter 6 ones that came out with the launch of the Switch 2. They were kind of on my wish list, but didn't quite happen. They were a bit more expensive, those ones. And yeah, I just couldn't really justify it at the time. Maybe for
Yeah.
Christmas. We'll see. We'll see. We'd love to know what listeners have in their Amiibo collection. Let us know how many you have and what your favorite is. But there's some pretty big news that happened during the week in terms of games coming to the Switch 2. I'm very excited about both of these games. First of all, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is coming to the Switch 2 in 2026. And I'm so excited for this because I love Indiana Jones as a franchise, as a series, the movies in particular. I don't think I've ever played apart from like the Lego indie games. Not sure I've ever played an Indiana Jones game before, but this one seemed to do really well. Like it got really good reviews when it came out, and I was kind of jealous at the time that it wasn't on a Nintendo platform and I couldn't play it. So I'm really happy to see this one come in Switch too. What are your thoughts on that? Are you interested in this one?
I'm gonna have to. I want to learn more about the story.
Hmm.
Um, because I didn't look into this game that much when it first came out because I knew I didn't have a way to play it.
Yeah.
But I certainly remember like seeing on like Blue Sky and stuff a lot of people talking about it. I have enjoyed some past Indiana Jones games, not just the Lego ones, but I remember there was one on Nintendo 64 that was sort of like
Mm.
Tomb Raider. Um, I can't, the name escapes me. It might have actually been a blockbuster, like one of those blockbuster rentals, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
the name escapes me. And of course, on the Wii, they had again the name of the game escapes me, but it had a bonus where you could play the point and click Indiana Jones game, Fate of Atlantis,
Oh, yeah.
which is
Hmm.
one of my favorite games probably ever. So
Mm.
I do enjoy the games, and I want to look more into this one. But I tell you what excites me most about this announcement,
Yeah.
even beyond Indy, it's sort of the speculation of what's next. Because unless I'm mistaken, this is the first Microsoft like
Ah.
game that's on Switch, and because I think they own the developer and publisher, or at least like the controlling shares with them from a
Mhm.
few years ago. So I think it's under like their gaming division. So
Yeah, I think you're
I
right.
just feel like it's blurring the lines of the console wars now, because maybe it's going to be less about exclusive games if because we've already seen that like with PlayStation, Switch
Mhm.
getting some of those games, so or Switch 2, and why not Microsoft, and it's great for me because I only play on Switch 2, right, for new systems.
Yeah, well, me too, that's right, exactly. Yes, that is a very good point. I'm sure you're right about that in terms of the Microsoft side of things. And this one, I mean, it only came out last year, like 2024 on the Xbox. It came out, I think, on the PS5 already earlier this year, and now heading to Switch 2. It's set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So that's the time period, which means it's classic Indy if you love the movies. And he just, I mean, obviously the character looks very much like the movie version. I don't know who does the voice work. I'm assuming it's not Harrison Ford, but I'm sure he does a good job if he does speak in it.
Yeah,
Whoever
I
it is.
forget the name. I saw it, but
Ah,
I give
yeah.
him credit for using a voice actor and not like using AI to try
Ah,
to
yeah.
mimic Harrison Ford's voice. Because
Hmm. Oh, could you imagine? That would be
yeah,
a terrible idea. Yeah.
I'm
So
glad
yeah.
they got talent,
Yeah, yeah,
actual human
definitely.
talent.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. So that's really exciting news. So yeah, hopefully that's the start of more of these types of things or the breakdown of those, yeah, console barriers, I suppose, where we can see more, or fewer exclusives, I suppose, um,
Because
located
now
on
we
one.
have the power with Switch 2 is no
Mm,
longer really an issue of trying to shoehorn onto to older tech.
yeah, exactly. And I don't think it has a release date. I think they just said 2026 at this point. So obviously that's a very wide window, but that's okay. It gives us lots to look forward to. I mean, the game's already made, and they've already had it on the PlayStation 5. So I guess they're just going to have to, make sure it works well for Switch 2, the controls, etc. Make sure it works well, docked and in handheld mode. But I mean, can you imagine playing this in handheld? I think that'd be great, having that option. So yeah,
I
very
mean, I
exciting.
remember this got quite a few like Game of the Year nominees, if I remember. Like
Mm,
again, I
mhm.
didn't look a lot into it because I didn't have a way to play it at the time. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
um,
exactly.
yeah, I think that's an edge, maybe even a double dip. Even if people have already played this
Mhm.
game on Xbox, now they can play it from the comfort of their bed or
Yeah,
flopped on the
yeah,
couch or
yeah.
wherever they might play in handheld mode.
Mhm. I'm sure there would be fans out there who would double dip, who would do that because they're big enough fans and they would like, either all versions or just the ability to play it in handheld, for example. I think that's a really good point. Yeah. So looking forward to hearing more about that one next year.
What's your favorite indie movie, Gemma?
That's a good question. Hmm. That's a really tough question, actually. I don't know. I mean, the first one I think I saw as a kid was Temple of Doom. But then the first one I saw at the movies, like that was on like video on VHS. The first one I saw at the movies was Last Crusade, and then I've obviously gone and watched Raiders of the Lost Ark and the two newer ones. It's probably, I don't know, it'd be one of the first three, but maybe Last Crusade just because of the fact that it was the first one I saw at the movies, and I
Mm.
don't think I'd seen Raiders, but Raiders is obviously awesome, and I love that. I've watched that with my kids semi recently, trying to get them into indie. So we tried to
Nice.
watch Temple of Doom, but that one I always found that a bit dark, and even
It
watching it,
is.
yeah, yeah,
At least in the States, I don't know about Australian ratings. That was sort of the film that kind of spearheaded us getting what they call a PG-13 rating. Because
right, yeah.
back when I was a really young kid, you'd go from PG straight to R, restricted, for
Oh,
17
really? Yeah,
plus.
okay.
And then that movie, and then I think Gremlins, where they threw the gremlin in the microwave. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's a little too horrific for kids where the guy's ripping a heart out of his chest and
Yeah.
Halimon.
Yeah, it's
So
full on. I
they
watched
sort
that,
of split the
yeah.
difference there in PG-13.
Yeah, 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 watching that with my son a few years ago, he didn't make it through. We were watching it just at home, just on the TV on Disney Plus, but it just didn't quite make it through because it was a bit much. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and he would have been 12-ish, probably 13. No, probably 11 or 12, yeah, which maybe it was a bit too young for that movie. But,
Yeah.
Everyone enjoyed Raiders. We've all watched that one, and that was really good. So, do you have a favorite?
I think I might be like you, Last Crusade, not because of that I saw it in the theater, but I just love Sean Connery in that film.
He is great. Yeah.
Of course, I loved him as James Bond too. That's what I think of him as. But to see his
Mm.
comedic side, I
Yeah.
just loved
Yeah.
his reactions to Harrison Ford kind of playing it more straight. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, I just appreciated his acting. But I mean, the
Definitely.
story was good too. There was a lot in the story I liked, and how they
Yeah.
kind of brought back the Raiders characters, like
Mm.
Sala and different ones. But I like all the indies. I mean, I even liked Crystal Skull, and I know a lot of people hated that. So
Yeah, that's true.
um,
I didn't hate it, that's for sure. I wanna actually watch it again. I've only seen it once, so
I don't see
yeah.
how like aliens or whatever are any more far fetched than some of the things from the originals. But
Yeah, that's true.
that's just me.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I agree, definitely. I think they're all quite good in their own way, for sure. Thank you for that discussion on Indiana Jones. You let us know this is what your favorite movie is in the series. Everyone will say, Crystal Skull now. So they're allowed to because Trev's given them permission to enjoy Crystal Skull.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was just happy to see new Indy after all that time because it was a big break between obviously Last
Yeah.
Crusade and Crystal Skull, so I thought
And
it
that
was
was
really good.
popular. I mean, I remember when I saw it in the theater, I think it was sold out. Like, I feel like that movie did very well. And I
Mm,
think it was more subsequent, like once it came out on like DVD or Blu-ray, where people were like, "Oh, it's not as good." But I feel like money wise, it it was very
yeah.
successful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was still fun. And the other game that I wanted to talk about, sorry, we actually have 2 more games, don't we? But this one is a Switch 2 one, and it is something people have been talking about for, it seems like a while now, is Hollow
Oh,
Knight Silksong. And have you been hearing all the talk about people wanting to hit, every time there's Nintendo Direct, even the Kirby one, they're like, "Where's Hollow Knight Silksong?" And you're like, obviously that's not gonna happen during this Direct, but it is coming. We finally have a date for this one, which is September the 4th. Now, I have to admit, I have not played Hollow Knight. I almost played it before the show just because I was super keen after hearing this announcement. Have you played Hollow Knight, the original one?
I have not. And I remember, I mean, obviously it was well received, but even with pure
Mm,
Nintendo, we reviewed it and our reviewer gave it a 9 out of 10.
right, there you
And
go.
usually
Yeah.
if a game scores that high, I'll pick it up just so
Mhm.
I can weigh in like at the end of the year for game of the year considerations, but I don't think we were doing that back then. I mean, that game came out over 7 years ago,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
the sequel was announced nearly 7 years ago. So I feel like
Yeah.
Silk Song is like the indie equivalent of Metroid Prime 4. We waited a whole generation.
Yeah.
I just hope the long gap won't impact the reception. I'm not sure. I mean, Hollow Knight sold great. I'm not sure how many of the sales were on Switch, but I
Mm.
I hope the long wait won't hurt it. I wish the team a lot of success.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Because yeah, I've got that number, but I don't know if it's probably total, not just Switch, like you said, because the
Yeah,
original was quite successful and sold 15 million copies, but I'm guessing that's across all platforms.
yeah, it
And
is.
yeah, so it came to the Switch, was it 2018, I think it was, after
Yeah,
releasing originally in 2017 on, I wanna say Steam,
that
I'm
sounds
guessing.
right.
Yeah. And, it's an Australian team, Australian dev team, very small little indie team, which is really awesome. It just seems like people have been talking about this recently and clamoring for it, which is great for, especially for an indie game. So like you said, I hope it does do well, and I hope it feels like the momentum is still, for whatever reason, the momentum seems to be there. People want it and are looking forward to it. I think it's a good idea that they didn't announce it with too much wait time in between, as in they announced that it's coming on September the 4th, like 2 weeks before September the 4th, which is probably a smart move because, like you said, you don't want people to have to wait. Even though we've been waiting years, you don't want them to have to wait another year for a release date, if that makes sense. Like, don't tell them it's coming in 2026. Just, I think that was a really smart move to say, hey, guess what? It's coming out in 2 weeks. Do you think
Yeah,
that's,
you don't want
yeah.
the straw that breaks the camel's back or be like, "Oh, that's it."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the trailer looks really good, looks lovely. I am going to, like I said, I almost played it last night, but I was playing something else, which I'll talk about later. and I'm going to get the first one. I'm going to play it. I'm excited to give it a try because it has been so well received, and it's obviously a very good game. And I just want to get my thoughts on it before the sequel comes out. So that's my commitment to you, Trev and listeners. Maybe next week I can talk about it. But yeah, I'd love to know if listeners have played it. Do they love it? Is it something they've been waiting for? A Silksong? Yeah, definitely want to hear people's thoughts. Um, so yeah, September the 4th. So we'll definitely hear more about that as it comes closer to the release date. Was there anything else you wanted to add to that, Trev?
No, I think we covered it pretty well, and yeah, hopefully one of us will be able to review the sequel. I think who reviewed the first game for us is no longer on the team, but
Yeah, I don't
um,
even recognize the name. He must have been a
yeah,
good YouTuber.
well, that's the thing about pure Nintendo. Some people come and will hang around for a few months or a year, and then there's people like you and me and Kirk and Justin and
Hmm.
Kaylin, different ones who hang around for the long haul. So
Yeah, that's it. But all contributions are valid and welcome. So yeah, definitely.
if you want to join the crew just for a few months, I don't know how Gemma's recruitment of her friends going, but you can email us and put your resume.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, we'd love to hear from you. Absolutely. It's super fun. That's why I'm still here. So yeah, we love what we do. Yeah, so that's Hollow Knight Silk Song. If you're not familiar with it, it is like a side-scrolling platformer, Metroidvania type of thing, with a little, apparently an insect or insectoid. I think they call the main character. Yeah, so watch out for that one. Now, this next one, our last piece of news before we get to the games we're playing, you have added this one, Trev. I'm not even sure how to pronounce this. Shenmue? Shen,
Shenmue, yeah,
Shenmue? Okay, Shenmue 3
Shenmue.
is heading to Nintendo platforms. Do you want to tell us about this one?
Yes, I am. I'm excited for this. I'll just share a little bit of a story
Mm-hmm.
with you and listeners, so you can kind of appreciate my mindset.
Sure.
The original Shenmue, which came out back on the Dreamcast, oh, decades ago, I enjoyed it so much that the sequel was the first game I've ever imported for my collection because the Dreamcast was short lived and the sequel ended up only coming out in PAL regions. And I'm like,
Mm.
I've got to play it. So I imported it. It wasn't dubbed and I needed a disc to play it, but I love that too. I think it later did come out on the original Xbox in full English. But anyway, yeah, the fact that this third one's coming out to Nintendo hardware thrills me, and I hope they do bring the first two over because I mean, it's fine for me. I'm not sure how new fans will be able to jump in because it's very story driven,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna be kind of at a loss about who these characters are. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure how it's gonna work, but I'm excited for the third one. The reception was more mixed than the first two, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily surprised because Shenmue is the sort of series it's really got to click with you. It's at its time it was extremely cutting edge. Now I can see how people would think it feels dated. There's a lot of talking, a lot of maybe waiting around that people aren't into. But yeah, I mean, it's from Yu Suzuki, and Nintendo players may not know his name as well, but he basically shaped my childhood in the arcades with Sega. I mean,
Cool.
Space Harrier,
Mm-hmm.
Outrun, Hang On, Afterburner, Daytona USA, Virtua Racing, Virtua Fighter, Virtua Cop. Basically, all the
Mm.
games I was popping quarters into were
Yeah.
from him. So he's sort of like he was like Sega's Miyamoto.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm really excited. I haven't played Shenmue 3 on other platforms. I don't know anything about the story, so no spoilers. But
Well, no wonder you're excited then. If this is a series you've loved and you haven't
I
even
was
played
always
this.
holding out hope.
Yeah.
There've been rumors over the years that the series would come back to. I even remember for the original Wii, there was a
Yeah,
rumor,
right. Mhm.
and it never came to fruition. But I've always held out hope, and I still have the first two, so I can replay them and really get in the mood for this third entry.
Yeah, it seems like the series does have some like a cult following almost. Like it's one of those games that's gained traction over time in terms of people have become enamored with it after the fact as well. So yeah, that's awesome. That's really exciting. I'm really excited for you on that one, Trev. I can't wait to hear more about it when it actually does come out. Was there a release date or was just it's coming? There's no release date
Um,
just yet.
oh, I don't remember. Yeah, I was just so thrilled when I saw it
Got
was
so
coming. I
excited.
don't even know if I
Yeah.
read.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see a release date in this article, so maybe we don't have one just yet, but hopefully we'll find out soon. And we'll let people know when we hear. But yeah, if you're a fan of why can't I say that? Shenmue. If you're a fan of Shenmue, the series, or the third one in general, let us know, listeners. But yeah, I love it because that's something you're passionate about. So, you get that, you feel that excitement when people are into a series or a game.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's been a long wait. I mean, it's been over 20 years. We're talking about
Mm.
Silksong and Prime
Mhm.
4 being long gaps.
Yeah.
Imagine being a Shenmue fan.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Oh, that's really cool. That's really neat. I'm glad that's back. And is Suzuki behind this one as well? Was he involved with the
Yeah, I think
third
he
one? Yep.
was a writer, director.
Cool.
I'd have to double check but yeah, I'm sure he's got probably a few credits on it.
Nice. Well, that's good. That means it should at least hold up to your expectations to some degree. So, yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thank you for that. Let's move on to the games we're playing. And we have a nice, healthy list. I will begin with a game we did briefly mention last week that was coming to the Switch too, in terms of the GameCube collection, and that's Chibi-Robo. And I'm actually glad you're on, Trev, because I was wondering if you'd played this because Kirk and I had not last week. Have you got any experience with Chibi-Robo?
I sure have.
I
I
thought
I
you
own
might
it.
have. Yes, that's what I
Yeah,
thought. Didn't I say that
I
last
own it
week?
on the GameCube, and yeah, I was listening and I enjoyed the show. But yeah, I'm glad you are. I'm glad you're able to play it, and I'm surprised Kirk didn't because he had a GameCube. That was his first kind of Nintendo
Yeah,
system.
that's what I
So I'm like,
thought.
really? But
Mhm.
Chibi-Robo is kind of it was a later release on GameCube, and it's sort of I think it's one of like use that phrase like a cult classic
Mhm. Mhm.
where it's sort of grown in mystique over time. But yeah, I've got it on GameCube. I've beaten it. It's a it's a wonderful game, and uh, I actually wish Kirk was here. Hopefully, he's listening to this. There's actually it's not just the little robot cleaning the house. There's
Mm.
quite a bit of drama in the story.
Kirk does love
There's
drama.
some really heavy themes. You'd be surprised with like the family and different
Mm.
characters. So if you're looking for a lot of twist and hitting you in the feels,
Yeah, okay.
definitely check this game out. And especially if you're on Switch on, well, it's not called Switch Online anymore, right? It's um,
Yes, Nintendo Classics? Is that what
yeah.
we're saying?
Anyway,
Yeah.
if you have access to that, I mean, it's already there, right? It's free, so um,
Exactly. Yes. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I thought that would be the case. I thought you had it. I'm sure you've mentioned that before many times, even just offline to me, because I've got the amiibo of it. But I realized why I haven't had access to this game before, and that's because it was never released in Australia on the GameCube.
oh,
It didn't
see,
actually make it.
that makes sense because it was a late GameCube release, and maybe by then,
Mm.
I don't know what the market was for, but that's what happened. That's same thing that happened with Shenmue too.
Hmm.
Late releases sometimes miss certain markets, and
Yeah. Yeah. So this is actually the first time in Australia we've been able to play this game, which is really cool for us now, at least. Not cool that we haven't had it, but cool that we have it now. So I did jump on and give it a go. I will keep going with it because I did enjoy what I played so far, and I haven't reached the drama yet, but I know what you mean because there is a family. Obviously, it opens up with a family at a birthday, and there's a kind of a little girl and her two parents, and one of the gifts is the Chibi-Robo. So you get to play as him and start cleaning up around the house while everyone's sleeping. And it's so cute. And you know what? One of the things I love, Trev, is when he walks, he makes this little noise. It's just
yes.
so endearing. I love it.
I
And
will just say too for oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
interrupt
I was
you.
just gonna say you're collecting happy points and your rank goes up, so I guess you're trying to become a super Chibi-Robo, which I'm intrigued what that is. Yeah, sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying for people who have only experienced the series with later games, um,
Mhm,
this is nothing like Ziplash was on the 3DS or
mhm.
the one before that on the DS whose name escapes me.
Oh,
It
was it
was
the
like the
photo?
gardening.
Oh, the Guardian one, yeah, because I looked into this
Yeah.
as well. There's, like I didn't realize there's, like, 4 or 5 games in the series.
Yeah, the photo one I think was an eShop exclusive,
Uh-huh.
but there was one on the DS. I think it was a Walmart exclusive, but it was like a gardening one. And I mean, that was a good game too, and I like Ziplash as well. But this one is by far and away the best one.
Mm.
Just in terms of the breadth and scope of it, and as you as Chibi, kind of builds himself up, and you get access to more of the house, you really it's he's so tiny. You go into a new room of the house, and it's like this huge world. It's just a
Yeah.
single room, but from your perspective, like that
Mhm.
bookcase looks like a mountain. Like, how
Yeah.
am I going to get up there? Like, it's just a lot of fun. I got a lot of good memories um, playing it. Actually, I played it with Jen. I
Mhm.
think when we were like maybe newlyweds or maybe even dating. Um, yeah, I'll have to check
Cool.
it out again too on Switch.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice memory to have, yeah. Oh, it is
Yeah,
lovely
I'd
so
actually forgotten about that until I
far.
was thinking about it out loud. I'm like, yeah, because that came out in I think 2006. Yeah, I think we would have been like newlyweds or dating or
Mm. Yeah.
one of our first big games as a couple. It's not a two-player game, but
Mhm.
certain games I feel like kind of maybe benefit by having another set of eyes
Yeah.
or even like a fresh perspective. Like, I can't reach that. Have you tried going over there first? Or so,
That's true.
yeah,
Mm.
maybe let your kids watch as you play.
Yeah.
Trade off the
Yeah.
controller.
Well, I feel like Hayden in particular would like it because it is that, I don't know, quirky style, cute style.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
quirky.
Yeah, and he likes robots in general, so and this is about a robot. So yeah. I love it, and that's why I looked into the series because I thought, "How is this not bigger? Like, how did it not become more of a thing?" And I guess it just I think whoever was behind the creative side of it said that Ziplash was the last one for some reason. I don't think it sold very well, the last one, for some maybe
Yeah,
because it was
it
different. Was that more of a
didn't.
platforming style? Was it side-scrolling, that one?
It was. Ziplash
Mm,
had its issues, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Ziplash probably more than most,
mhm.
um, critics, but it was very different, and it had its own quirks, and sometimes I say quirky, and quirky can be positive, and
Mhm.
sometimes quirky can be negative, and I feel like Ziplash, it was probably a little more negative, just the structure of it. I
Yeah.
feel like there was some repetition that wasn't needed, and it's just it's funny, like talking about Kirby. We can
Mhm.
all accept Air Riders because it's not a mainline Kirby, it's a spinoff.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
with Chibi-Robo, it feels like every game's so different. It's hard to build up that continuity.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Mm, that's a really good point, actually. Well, hopefully they'll bring him back one day, but for now, if you have Switch Online, if you're a subscriber to the online, system, then you will get access to Internet Classics on Switch 2. That includes GameCube, so yeah, check that one out. It's definitely worth your time. Thank you, Trev, for giving me that summary there. I knew that you'd know about this game, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I
glad
hope
you
you stick with it. I'd like to hear more about it.
Yeah, I will, I will. Yeah, it's definitely endearing so far. I've probably spent half an hour or so, not a whole lot of time, but I just wanted to try it at least before the
Yeah.
show because we did mention it last week and it was out, just during this last week, so it
Yeah.
is a
It is
new
one of those
addition.
games that gets better the more you get in, once you
Yeah, okay.
just open it up and get more abilities and yeah.
Yeah, because I think I've only got 2 currently, the propeller and I think he just got something else. I can't remember what it is now, but I think he's got 2. Yeah, so cool. Very, very cool. Love it. Thank you. The second game that I have been playing this week is called Herdlings, which you might remember from the Indie World Showcase. Was the one with the kid kind of herding these giant creatures through different landscapes. And this one just came out, I believe, on the 21st of August. So it's out now. There was a discount. I should have looked up before the show. There was a discount, a pre-order discount. I don't know if that's finished, but I think it was around the $20 mark anyway. So I'm
That's
reviewing
what
this.
it is in North America anyway. It's
Yeah, okay.
19.99.
Yeah, which seems like a fair price. This is a Switch One game that looks really pretty. And I think we said this after the showcase that I thought it was a Switch 2 game when they were showing it off. It does look beautiful. It sort of reminds me of, I don't know, the Tibetan kind of mountains or something. It's kind of got that snow-capped, snow peaks or whatever you call it, mountainy peaks. But you start off, you're this kid. It's very light on dialogue. In fact, there's no dialogue. So it's a very quiet adventure. I'm not going to use the word cozy because it's not exactly that style, though it's not terribly difficult. There are obstacles and there's no like life meter that I can see, although your herd can get attacked. So I'm not sure how that works exactly. But you start off in this city that is devoid of any people. So it's, I don't know what's happened to humanity. They've disappeared, they've died out, who knows. But this boy, or I think he's a boy, this child is there and he stumbles across this giant creature and tames this creature, and the creature starts following him, or he can herd this creature. What I love is you can name each of these animals that you come across. So you can use a random generator to just make up a name, or you can type in your own. I kind of like that because they become almost like pets. Because these creatures they look like yaks, I suppose, in a way. They're big and furry, and they kind of have these horns, but they're also a little dog-like. Sometimes their tails will wag when they're happy, and you can pat them and they like that, and you can feed them as well, and you kind of have to feed them to kind of help their health. Not that they have a health bar, like I said, but they kind of do. There's this meter at the bottom, which is what you can do is you can walk them or herd them generally in a direction, but you can also make them run, and the running uses up kind of, I guess, a power. It reminds me, Trev, of Ocarina of Time, or any horse based Zelda. Link, when Link's riding a horse and you can
Oh,
hit
okay.
the whip kind of thing and it makes the horse run faster. You
Yep,
know what I mean? Yeah,
I
it's
do.
kind of like that. You kind of press the button and it makes them go faster and they can run a bit further for a short period of time. And you have to kind of build that back up by feeding your herd. So it's really, I don't know if sweet's the right word. It's very, and again, it seems relaxing just because of the atmosphere. And a lot of the time, there's no music as well. It'll just be very quiet, which is nice because it feels like you're kind of almost more immersed in this world, because it's very, once you get out of the city, then you're kind of in nature and you're sort of in the open plains, and then you're kind of following this train track, and there's like this abandoned train yard, and there's a few puzzles where you have to work out how to get to, there's more of these creatures kind of trapped, and how do you get them? How do you maneuver your herd through some areas? Then there is some kind of enemy presence, and this is revealed during dreams, I suppose. There's kind of fire pits every now and then, and you can rest there, and your little herd can rest there as well. And it's really cute, actually. These moments are cute because you light the fire, and the herd will come and sit around the fire, and they'll huddle there together, and they'll sleep, and you can sleep as well. But when you sleep, there's these kind of visions of this creature attacking, and then it becomes a reality where this creature is attacking. Now, I don't want to give too much away because I haven't finished it, so I don't know what the story is. I don't know what the ending is. I don't know how much is revealed because at the moment, like I said, there's no dialogue. It's just you and the herd and this monster. And so I'm just taking this herd to wherever. It's not really clear why or where, but I'm just helping them get there. So it's really interesting. It's very well designed and it's very neat and unique, I would say, as well. So I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's
When
about a 5 or 6 hour adventure from what I've read. So I'm maybe
uh,
a third to a halfway through at this point. Like I'm in the mountains now. Yeah.
when you said there's no music, like, there's environmental sound effects though, right? Like, can you hear, like, wind and
Well, there is music
and
sometimes. Sometimes it's quiet, and then at other times there's music. So there's just a lot of
oh,
periods of time where there's nothing. But then, say, when this creature attacks, there's a bit of an intense music for a period of time. And I think when the herd runs, it also, the music is a bit more lively and a bit more, it's all orchestral, and it's quite lovely actually when it does play.
gotcha.
Yeah, so there definitely is music, sorry, it's just, there are periods where there's silence. It's just it makes you feel small in this big world, I think, when there's just no sounds. But it's a good point in terms of the environmental sounds, because I don't know that I've heard any birds or insects or anything. Like I said, there's no humans, so I don't know if there are any other creatures apart from you and the herd. But there is a period of time where it rains and you can hear the rain, and that's quite a nice effect. So there are those kinds of sounds. Wind, I haven't noticed that exactly, but maybe I'm not high
Hmm.
enough in the mountain yet to get the windy side of things. But yeah, definitely rain I've heard. So yeah, there are some environmental sounds.
How do you
Yeah.
herd them? Like, do they get out of line? Do you have to like whip them to get them back
Yeah,
in?
that's a really interesting
Line?
mechanic, because I was when we saw the initial trailer, I was sort of wondering if it was like Pikmin, if you could kind of whistle or do something to bring them together. It's not. You just press the ZR button, but what it does is they more or less walk ahead of you. So when you press ZR, there's like a white line, I guess, or a point in front of you, and they will go towards that point. And if you hold the ZR and you walk, the point will move with you, and you can move with the L stick left or right, and that will make the point move as well. So you're kind of just guiding them by following them, and they move forward with you, more or less. It's pretty well done. There are a couple of moments where I've got stuck, and I'm like, "Oh, my team's not making it. What's going on?" But it's never been to the point where I've had to reset it, or that I've, um or anything like that. I've just walked around and then tried again, and they'll get out of that situation. So it's pretty intuitive. Like the herd is pretty intuitive. They more or less know where they can and can't go. There are some points when and I'm only just in the mountains, but someone almost fell off a mountain, one of these little dudes, and I had to rescue him, and that was a bit of a scary moment because, like I said, you name them, you pat them, you feed them. They're almost like pets.
Hmm.
So I really care for these creatures. I don't want anything to happen to them.
So
So
you named Trev, Kirk, and Justin.
Sure. No, maybe the next one. The next ones I will. I came up with some very random names. I called the first one Lucky. I don't know why. Just because he was lucky that I found him. And then he or she found a little one trapped, and he seemed very upset by this little one being trapped. So I figured it was his kid, his or her kid. I don't know. And so I called it Lucky Junior. So my first two. But yeah, there was one that was in the mountains. My first one that I found in the mountains, I thought he was goat-like, so I called him Aries. But then some of the others I've just randomly chosen the names to see what they give. They're pretty cool names and quite varied, the ones they will generate for you. So there are quite a lot of options if you're not feeling creative. But yeah, the
Cool.
next one I'll dedicate to the team. So yes. And I think I've got like 7 or 8 in my head now, so I've got quite a few. Yeah.
How many
Um
do you know? How many you can have like total?
Well, when you go to the pause menu, there's an option for your herd, so you can see your herd, and it looks like it has a maximum number. I don't know what that number is, but I'm on the second row, so there's sort of 2 rows where the animals fit, and it tells you the name, it gives you a little picture of them, and the type. Some of them are like, I don't know, cheeky or something. It's not cheeky, but they have like, adjectives that describe them, some of them. Like one was brave, I think, and a rascal. I think it was rascal. I have a couple of rascals in my group. I'm not sure what that means. None of them really act differently to the others, but I guess the brave one maybe is up front or something, and the rascal might have been the one who tried to fall off the edge. I don't know. But
Uh,
yeah, it looks like there's only a certain number of space, like there's a certain number of slots there for your herd. So I'm guessing that's a max, but it looks like maybe up to 20. I'm guessing 15 to 20, something like that. Yeah. I'll find out as I keep going, because every now and then you find one that's stuck, and so you help it and it joins your herd. So it's a really neat concept. I'm just impressed with, because it's just not something I think I've really played anything like this before. It's quite different. So from that perspective, I think it's really creative. It's the Switch One game, like I said. I am playing it on the Switch 2, but there are a few maybe slight frame rate issues at times. But it does look, like I said, it looks very lovely. It looks beautiful. So performance isn't too bad.
cool.
I haven't had any major issues with it in terms of performance. And the controls are very easy. It's really just ZL to run, ZR to herd, and your control stick, basically. Sometimes you interact with objects and it tells you press Y or X to do that. So yeah. It's pretty intuitive, pretty easy. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Any other questions?
No, I'll be
Yeah.
looking forward to your review.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I should have it up within the next week or so. Trev, what are you playing at the moment?
Okay, so well, first I am still playing Donkey Kong in Bonanza.
Yeah,
I realize a lot of people have already beaten it and moved on, but it has only been out a month,
that is
and
true.
unlike you, Gemma, I had the luxury of really taking my time,
Yeah.
and plus we were out of state for a wedding for a while, so
Hmm.
I didn't pack my Switch too, because it's just I don't know, it's a little it's too new to travel with me,
Right.
even though I do have a case, but um, I don't know, maybe I'm paranoid, but so yeah, I am still playing that, and of course, my wife and I've been playing co-op, so we're kind of doing a completionist approach. We've been taking elevators
Mm,
back, trying to get bananas we missed. And I hope everyone who's bought the game, even if you've quote unquote beaten it, I hope you kind of stick with it. It's easy to return to and jump back in even for a bit and still feel like you're making progress.
mhm.
So, um,
Yeah,
so yeah, that
I do wanna jump back in as well to collect all the things I've missed. So,
yeah,
yeah.
that's my game for fun. And I do have review games. I'm not talking about them on this podcast, but just to be clear, I am working on reviews. But this past week has also been atypical as far as gaming for me, and I don't know if I was just celebrating that we were up to another issue. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Or maybe my emails are just more backed up than they should be, but I found myself playing older games more than usual. And
Yeah?
I was thinking on it this week. I played, and I didn't seek out to do any of this, it just happened organically. I played the NES,
Yeah?
played the GameCube, played my DS, played my Wii, played my Switch, and my Switch 2.
Wow.
And I'm not talking about like virtual console or Switch Online. I played on actual hardware. I have
Nice.
them hooked up to my T well, not the DS, but I have the systems hooked up to my TV. They're not buried in my basement like Kirk,
Yeah.
along with his unplayed copy of Treasure Tracker. So again, it wasn't a typical week, and it's not like I'm playing epic RPGs or anything on these, to be clear.
Mhm.
But it did get me wondering, and here's my question to listeners: are you the type of gamer who collects for older hardware? And do you still have systems accessible where you can play these games? Or
Mm.
are you the type that goes whole hog on the latest generation, like Switch 2? Because here on the Pure Nintendo team, I know we have both. Like Justin, for instance, he kind of goes all in on the latest, which,
Mhm.
does save money, and not to mention gives him more time for his family. So there's no right or wrong way to how you play. It's just what you enjoy most and what's best for your situation. And the reason I asked this question is, and it sort of ties in with the magazine, I've been wanting to bring back what we used to have in the mag, the question block.
Mhm.
It's appeared on and off in the magazine for years. And I thought this would be an interesting topic.
Yeah.
So, any who are listening, if you want to leave a comment on your podcast platform of choice, or on YouTube, or email us, reach out on Blue Sky, whatever, you might see your answer in print. So I'd really like to feature it.
That's awesome. I think it's a really good question, honestly, and there's such a diverse range of possible answers because, myself, for example, I have pretty much all of my old systems, although I lament the loss of my Super Nintendo. I sold that at a garage sale, and I don't know why, and I regret it. That's the only one I don't have. The rest I have, but I don't have them set up, so that's the difference. I don't have the right
Mm,
connections. I need to get something, like I think I mentioned semi recently that I found my GameCube at my mum's house, and I've brought that back to my place. I have it. I can see it. It's just there. And same with my Nintendo 64. I have them both, but I haven't connected them because they don't have the right cables. Well, I have the cables. I don't have the right connection on my TV. So I need to get whatever converter it, I guess. There must be some kind
Oh,
of converter.
that's a good point because now all the TVs are high def.
Yeah. So I guess there must be
And
some, is it HDMI to AV, whatever they used to be called, the red, yellow, and white cables. I don't know.
see, that's a good point because with me, I play them. I still have a box TV
Ah, yeah,
because,
okay. Yeah.
like my NES, it uses an RF box, really old school.
Oh,
So,
yeah, would too. Yes, I remember that. Mhm.
um, yeah, so that's I think that could be another determining factor maybe for people if they
Mm.
still play old games. Do you have the means to do it or not? Because like even with HD TVs, even if you get it hooked up, like I can't use my NES Zapper on an HD TV; it doesn't work. So,
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
mhm,
Interesting. Yeah, that's a really good discussion. Definitely, there's gonna be a range of options, range of answers, and maybe people just have one, like they've kept a favorite. Maybe they've just got the NES or the Super Nintendo or a Game Boy or something. And Game Boys and the DS you can pretty much play because
yeah.
you just need batteries for the Game Boy or a charger for the DS or the 3DS, and you can play that anytime, really.
And I don't normally plug for content on the podcast, but again, it's something I've been wanting to do for a while because ever since we went back to print, we haven't had a question block because
Yeah.
initially, we were so focused on reviving that, and then it sort of fell by the wayside. But again,
Mm.
it's been in the mag on and off really since the early issues. So I'd like to bring it back. And in the past, sometimes I would have just kind of generic letters on any topic of the moment, and then other times I'd kind of zero in on a specific topic or theme, and people could write in or message or email about that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll wait to see if this connects with anybody. If you want to share your opinions, thank you in
Yeah.
advance.
Definitely. Yes, definitely. Thank you in advance. I think that's a great topic. That will be something for our next issue that we'll collate, and so we'll mention it a few times over the next little while so that we can get a good range of responses. So yeah, definitely. I think that's awesome. Thank you, Trev. That's brilliant. Anything else you wanted to add before we close things off for the week?
Nah, I think we covered a pretty good range, especially
Mm.
spending a third of the episode on a direct. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yes, we did. Well, thank you so much for joining me this week, Trev. I'm glad you were able to make it, especially in
yeah, it was
Kirk's
fun.
absence. It would have been just me talking for an hour. I don't think anyone wants that.
I don't know. I might tune in.
I'll have no one to riff off. I'll just be, yeah, I don't know,
Mm,
go on tangents all the time. But no, thank
it
you very
is
much.
tough.
Yeah, it is tough. And thank you, listeners, for joining us again this week. We hope you enjoyed the show. Let us know your thoughts on everything we've discussed: Kirby and Indiana Jones, Hollow Knight, Shenmue, of course, the games we were playing as well, from Chibi-Robo, Herdlings, and Donkey Kong Bananza, to the very important question that Trev raised on older systems, retro systems. What are you playing? What do you wish you were playing? Let us know. There's no wrong answer. We would just want to know all the answers. So let us know your top thoughts there. But thank you for joining us. If you'd like to follow us, we're on social media on Blue Sky. So head on over there to see what we're up to. Of course, Trev mentioned the magazine. We are about to go to print. That is the next step. So it's going to come your way very, very soon. It's not too late, though. If you want to join the mailing list for this issue, you can do so. This is probably the last week I can say that for this issue, though. So get on board, head
Mm.
on over to patreon.com/Pure Nintendo, and you will receive the latest copy of the Pure Nintendo magazine in your mailbox in the next couple of weeks. Look forward to seeing that. I can't wait to hold it myself and see it in print. It's going to look amazing. I'm
You
just
do
in
a
love with
great
the
job
cover.
on that. Gemma's really for people that don't know, Gemma in recent issues has done the bulk of the work and really all the layout. So
Oh, thanks, Trev.
you're the MVP of the NM team.
Oh, it's fun. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. So, and to see it, come out in print and see that work come out, converted into something physical that we can cherish, I think is worth it. So, I hope everyone
Mm.
enjoys it when they get it. But yeah, thanks again, and until next week. Game on, everybody. Bye.
So long, guys.